So let me be honest with you guys. This chapter kinda got to me. If you haven't heard the news yet, it's been confirmed that Chainsaw Man is not only getting an anime adaptation, but also a part 2, so to speak, or a sequel, which I'm really grateful for. I think that knowing that Chainsaw Man isn't completely finished makes chapter 97 all the more satisfying. It's a completely normal chapter when it comes to Chainsaw Man standards, however, that doesn't mean that it was lacking in the impact department. We all know that the latest chapters of Chainsaw Man had a lot of shock value, so to end off with a very modest chapter like this feels surreal. It's a chapter where you could really take the time to absorb everything that's happened over the course of these 97 chapters and really think. With that being said, what happened in chapter 96 with the new information we got from chapter 97 is pretty interesting. Even though it seemed almost impossible to defeat Makima, the fact that he didn't want to hurt her and the fact that he actually just wanted to become one with her made all the difference. And also the fact that he gambled on the thought that she only remembers the sense of people that she's interested in, similar to a dog, actually similar to one of her dogs, and that she doesn't actually remember faces. He bet that Makima's only ever been looking at Chainsaw Man and not him as Denji himself. And that's just wow. That's actually kinda sad when you really think about it. But his affection for her is what made him able to eat and defeat her in that way. The whole thing still has me in awe. And now Kishibe has apparently found a kid in China who's actually the control devil. Keep in mind, not Makima, just the control devil. Which, by the way, she's pretty much like Denji in the beginning of the story in many ways due to the fact that she's almost like a blank canvas that can be painted on. Very impressionable. Kishibe actually stated that if they left her with the government, she could easily be Makima 2.0 basically. And yeah, no, we don't need that again. So he basically pushes her off on Denji. I'm really curious to see where the story and this newfound relationship goes from here. This could be the point in which we see Denji continue to mature almost as a parental figure to her. Seeing Denji in chapter 1 compared to Denji on chapter 97 from a character standpoint when it comes to his mindset and emotions is pretty crazy to me. As Chainsaw Man, he's even built up a little notoriety as well. People are literally coming up with rumors. I heard that killing devils is his hobby. They say he only saves girls. Rumor has it that he's a high schooler. You know, those type of things. I can see one aspect of part 2 being how he develops as a high schooler on a normal level, making new high school friends and continue to grow as he watches over and guides Nayuta. I hope I'm saying that name correctly as well, Nayuta. And I'm all for that. I've really enjoyed this and I can't wait to see what Fujimoto has completely planned out for part 2. Seeing as how part 2 is switching to Jump Plus, he'll more than likely have more flexibility in how he operates with his work. That will always factor into how good the quality of a series truly is, because overall you don't want your mangaka to be overworked. But yeah, I really want you guys to take a look at everything you've been through so far. Essentially take a look at the bottom from the top of the mountain. Even after reading chapter 96 last week, I inherently started to think about Makima as a character. How much I disliked her, yet at the same time loved her overall as an antagonist. I've thought about how much the government's played a part in not only Makima's character, but also Rize as well. And whether or not the government will be the next real antagonist as a whole. I've reflected on the people we lost throughout the story and how I felt while reading those chapters. Not only that, but also how those losses affected our boy Denji, which is probably just as important, if not the most important thing. There's a lot of layers that come with the series. Even the subtle hints of foreshadowing are pretty intriguing. Like Makima being in the reflection of Denji's chainsaw on the Shounen Jump covers, basically foreshadowing her future fate, which is pretty wild. This was a pretty wild ride. Also, let's not forget that we have an anime to look forward to by Mappa, and as far as we've seen from them so far, they've been killing it. Although part 1 may have ended, it almost feels like it's just the beginning in a weird way. Anyway, how do you guys feel about the ending? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you indifferent? Let me know in the comment section. Also, what do you expect to see in part 2? Like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. This is Weave, and I'm out.